Hello, friends. Welcome into NFL Daily. I am your host, Tom Downey. We've got the latest around the NFL on rumors, the draft, and trades as well. And we begin today with Jamal Adams, who is not going to show up to the Jets' beginning of their offseason program, all virtual, all voluntary, by the way, as well. He plans to skip that. As a result, the Jamal Adams trade rumors are very much back. You can pretty much thank Adam Schefter for that one, who, of course, initially broke the news that Jamal Adams would not be participating because the Jets haven't officially expressed interest in extending Jamal Adams, which, for the record, makes zero sense for me. And, of course, the trade rumors are back once again because the Jets very publicly shopped him at the trade deadline, or at least listened to calls, depending on which side of the argument you want to believe. But once again, the Jamal Adams trade rumors are very much back on the menu for several NFL teams out there. Now, if you guys are already subscribed, you probably got this alert. But if you want to know more information on Jamal Adams, for example, some teams that could trade for him, we got you guys covered. I earlier today broke down the top 5 destinations for Jamal Adams in terms of possible trades and where he could go, what the value ends up looking like. That is available on the channel right now, so go check it out if you have not already. Let's move now to NFL free agency because we're not done on that front yet because Jadeveon Clowney still does not have a team. Kind of crazy, right? Titans GM John Robinson said today that the door is still open for the Titans adding Clowney. As a reminder here, the Titans had previously mentioned that they had interest, they had talks with Clowney, but as of right now, there is no new progress and nothing is imminent on a deal. Here's exactly what GM John Robinson had to say about Clowney and the Tennessee Titans. We'll see. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, we've had some discussions there and we've had some dialogue back and forth. You never close the door on anything. I don't think there's anything imminent in the works, but we'll continue to try and work through things and see how they go. Now, Clowney clearly remains the best free agent available on the open market. Coming off a bit of a down year, just the 3 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, but he's been productive in the NFL, although he's never quite reached that 10-sack number that I think most expected. He was the number 1 overall pick. But Clowney has played well in the NFL. He's a versatile player, and he played through injury this past year, which I think in reality has probably cost him a little bit of money on the open market. The big issue for the Titans and for the other NFL teams is Clowney had offseason surgery, and with the way the world is set up right now, I think it's a little bit tricky for teams to be able to get a full-fledged physical way that they normally would to get Clowney. That, coupled with his abnormally high asking price, which I do believe has gone back down since then, I am inclined to think that Clowney will wait until after the draft to sign with his next NFL team. I will make this question the pinned comment of the video. Let me know where you guys think Clowney ends up signing. Is it Tennessee, Baltimore, somewhere else? If you're watching on YouTube and you get to hit with the ad break here, scroll down, take advantage, and use that time to make your guesses in the comments section as to where Clowney will sign. Let's head back over then to the NFL draft. Are the Jets going to go offensive line in round 1? They have been doing plenty of research and investigation into some of the top offensive line prospects this year. This does make sense. They signed some players. They still have some needs on the offensive line, though. And they have to find a way to make life on Sam Darnold easier. And that can be done in the offensive line or at the receiving corps. Frankly, probably both of them make sense. We don't have a great feel for what exactly Joe Douglas's plan will be because it's his first draft as the GM of the New York Jets. You look at what their offensive line looks like right now. Brian Winters still might end up being cut. George Fant was added. He could play left tackle. Maybe he plays right tackle. I still think offensive line is a very plausible round 1 pick for the New York Jets. They had a private workout and meeting with Jedrick Wills and with Andrew Thomas. They hosted Mekhi Becton on a visit. They video chatted with Tristan Wirfs. They have focused a lot of their pre-draft prep work on those round 1 offensive linemen. So if you're the Jets and you have your pick of any offensive lineman out there, who are you guys picking? Type A for Wirfs, B for Wills, C for Andrew Thomas, or D for Mekhi Becton. There are legitimate arguments for all of those guys being the best offensive linemen in this year's draft class. And I'd be willing to bet that one of them falls to pick number 11 overall in the NFL draft. Now, unlike most years, the NFL draft hats are actually good this year, folks. Historically, they've been kind of wild and they're trying to do way too much. They dialed it back this year, went with a more simplistic approach, and I actually dig these hats. These are hats that you wouldn't actually mind wearing out. They got different types of styles. They've got the snapbacks, the more rounded brims. They've got adjustable and fitted hats as well. A bunch of different varieties. You can check them out at chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. That is chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. And don't worry, I'll put that link in the comments and the description. Moving on now to Ezra Cleveland, the offensive lineman. Could the Browns take him? So this would be Cleveland to the Browns, which still sounds kind of funny. For the record, before we dive too far in here, all I want out of this year's NFL draft is for the Browns to take Ezra Cleveland and then give him the number 69 jersey, because that would be the best-selling jersey out of anyone in this year's NFL draft. But there is growing buzz on a more serious note that the Browns are very high on Cleveland, and they could elect to trade down from number 10 overall, move down into the teens, and then take Cleveland if one of the other offensive linemen that they want isn't on the board. Now, Cleveland is looking for a left tackle. Happens to be that Cleveland plays left tackle. It's not confusing at all. But in all seriousness, it does make sense for the Browns if they are that high on Ezra Cleveland. Hubbard can then become your swing tackle, and now you've made a big, big upgrade at an area of need in the offseason. You've added Chris Hubbard. You have Jack Conklin now as your right tackle. That would be a significant boost for Cleveland on the offensive line. Now, of course, talking about the NFL draft right now, we will be live for the entirety of it, not just day one, not just day two like some of the other outlets out there. No, no, no. We will have every single pick for you live on Chat Sports. And unlike some of the major networks, by the time day 3 comes around, we'll actually talk about all of the prospects involved. We're not going to cut away to boring interviews with head coaches and they're just going to say their normal platitudes. No, no, no. Every pick will be broken down. So if you have not already, hit that big red button and subscribe. We were the most watched online draft last year. I think we'll do it again this year. And of course, we bring up your comments as well because we're much more interactive than, the other channels out there. Let's talk more draft and more trades as well. The Detroit Lions, they have had talks, and this is confirmed by their GM, Bob Quinn, about moving down from the number 3 overall pick. This should not come as much of a surprise. This is something we've mentioned multiple times here on NFL Daily. The top 2 picks are clear. Joe Burrow should be Chase Young after that. Then the Lions have the number 3 pick where they chance to go in a couple different directions. They could try to trade down, and if they do, on only a couple spots they move down, they still might get the guy they want at number 3 overall. Here's what Bob Quinn had to say on it. I've had a few of those conversations referring to trading down over the last week or so. Had a few of those conversations, honestly, as far back as the Combine. There will be more substantive talks next week if people are interested. Now, the Lions pick number 3. The Dolphins and Chargers are both rumored to have interest in quarterbacks, be it Tua or Justin Herbert. An ideal scenario for Detroit. You trade down with the Miami Dolphins. The Giants are probably not going to take Jeffrey Okudah at 4. You could get an extra pick and still get the guy you would have taken at 3. That'd be a brilliant move by the Lions. So will they trade down? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Type Y for yes, they will move down for something, or no, they will not move down from the number 3 overall pick. Now, kind of tied directly into this is the Giants side of it. Dave Gettleman, who, by the way, has never traded down in round 1 of the NFL draft, be it with the Giants or the Carolina Panthers, he says they are open and willing to listen to teams if they want to move down. The Giants do not have a 3rd-round pick. They have just 2 picks in the top 95 of this year's NFL draft. And again, if teams try to move up for a quarterback, the Giants could move down a spot or 2 or 3 or whatever and still get one of the guys on their board. I think for the Giants, looking at really 2 spots. It's offensive tackle, the big 4, with various interests from the Giants. I don't know which route they go. Or Isaiah Simmons, the athlete, linebacker, freak, do-it-all player. So who is more likely to trade down? Giants or Lions? I think the Lions make more sense. It fits more of their MO. Gettleman's never done it. Gettleman also had a weird comment about how he wanted to have a deal in place because he was worried about having enough time once the Giants got on the clock, but he won't know for certain if they can even move down unless the Lions pass on trading down at number 3 overall. Let's talk about a prospect now, AJ Terrell, the cornerback out of Clemson. As of late, getting some significant buzz and rumors around him that he's going to go earlier than expected. That's from NFL draft expert Dane Brugler. It's an interesting idea. In my most recent mock draft I had him going number 19 overall to the Las Vegas Raiders, and the report was that might be too low for Terrell, which would be kind of a surprise to me. I think the issue here for Terrell in terms of where he goes is that after the first 2 prospects at corner, that's CJ Henderson, Jeffrey Okudah, not in that order, the next grouping of Terrell and Christian Fulton and Trevon Diggs and Jeff Gladney and even Jalen Johnson, I think NFL teams are going to have a very vast difference of opinion in terms of who ends up being number 3. And if there's an early run on corners, Terrell could easily go in the top 20 of this year's draft. So 3 teams that I think could make some sense for Terrell that I want you guys to keep an eye out for. The Atlanta Falcons at 16 were mentioned. The Cowboys have some interest in Terrell if one of their top guys isn't there at number 17. And then at 19, the Las Vegas Raiders. But I think Terrell, he might actually end up being the 3rd corner drafted in this year's draft.